Hey everybody, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat. I'm speaking with Kelvin Gastelum, who is facing Jake Ellenberger at UFC 180 in Mexico City. Also, they're calling this one UFC Mexico. And literally right now, Kelvin, tell me where you are. You're up in a little pueblo in the mountains in Mexico. It sounds amazing.
That's right. It's called Jiquipilco, Mexico. It's about 2 hours away from the city and higher up in elevation, up in the mountains. In a little pueblo, it's really small and just finishing up camp here with the along with the Verdun camp.
Well, very nice. Well, there, yeah, obviously, I've got a whole lot of questions. That's why I'm doing an interview. But first and foremost, I guess talking about that elevation. Clearly you knew that Mexico City, that was going to be a different thing for you to be working out and training and fighting at high elevation. So how much time have you put in down in Mexico to, sort of acclimate yourself?
Well, I'm going to be putting in about 3 weeks
Nice.
of time. I've already been here 2 weeks,
Uh-huh.
1 week left, and I also was able to rent an altitude tent
Oh,
when I was in
nice.
San Diego at camp, um, provided by Hypoxico.
Mhm.
So to them, and it really when I came out here, I felt that really helped me out as well.
So it's funny because I'm sort of casual about this and talking about high altitude training, and obviously I know it's a question of oxygen in your blood and stuff. But I mean, what kind of differences do you feel in your own performance?
Right. I feel like my endurance is longer, yet my recovery is faster. Um, so I mean, it just makes me perform better for a longer time period, and then my recovery is just even faster. I don't really know all the science behind it because, but I feel great. I feel good coming into this fight.
Nice. I believe it has to do with something about the right kind of blood cells and more oxygen in your blood and that kind of thing. So,
Something. I guess it makes your red blood cells grow and
right.
stuff like
Right, right,
that.
right. Very nice. Well, obviously, you're taking this fight with Jake Ellenberger very seriously, as well you should. Jake is always dangerous, and though he may be coming off a couple of losses, when you look at who he fought, yeah, a lot of people lose to Rory and Robbie. So, um, what do what are you most concerned of when you look at a guy like Jake? Where do you think he's most dangerous?
I think he's dangerous everywhere. He's been on top of the division for a long time and been one of the best for a long time. And I respect him in each and every aspect of the game. I just think I'm going to be maybe even a little bit better boxing, a little bit better wrestling.
Hmm.
And so I'm looking to capitalize on that and be looking to be the better fighter that night.
Well, it's funny because he was on my podcast right before this fight got announced, and I was trying to dig it out of him who he was fighting, and he kind of said, "Well, I can't say in this Mexican." I was like, UFC Mexico welterweight, who could be a great matchup? And so I threw your name out, and then he's like, because officially he's not allowed to say or anything. But I was like, I know I called that, and it's a great matchup. I'm sure you've seen, or actually I'm not sure because maybe you're a guy that doesn't really look at the internet and stuff. But maybe you've seen the forums. I mean, people are hyped about your fight, so. Obviously this is a big deal step for you. Would you say this is, the most important fight you've had so far, or was, the Ultimate Fighter fight the most important?
Absolutely. This is the biggest fight, the most important fight in my life right now, and I'm taking it as so.
Hmm.
And I'm fully prepared for what's coming.
Yeah.
And these are the type of fights I've been wanting since I got in the UFC.
Right.
So, um, yeah, I mean, this is definitely the biggest fight of my life for sure. I mean, I'm a co-main event on a huge pay-per-view that sold out in 8 hours, and I'm fighting in Mexico in front of, people my parents are from Mexico.
Yeah.
Uh, Signing Mexican, although I'm American, my
Right.
bloodline is percent Mexican, and I couldn't be happier to be fighting for
Yeah,
sure.
I can only imagine how that must feel. You obviously bring up a lot of good points here about the show selling out. Now that you've been there for a while, what is the feeling? Because Dana obviously is a great salesman and a great hype man, and talks about this fight and that fans are rabid and it's going to be insane. And then you see the lines for people buying tickets and you hear how quickly it sells out. But for you, what's the palpable sense that you're getting there? What's the excitement level for this fight?
Oh man, I couldn't be more excited. I feel like there's going to be a huge electricity in the air,
Yeah,
honestly, in that arena. Uh, something to compare it with. I think it's going to be the crowd is going to be even worse, better than the Dublin crowd,
right.
than the crowd. The Mexican fans are they gonna be going a little crazy, I think.
A little loco. We can, right? But that's awesome. I feel like obviously right away from this fight you were already embracing the si se puedes and all of that. So are you feeling when you walk down the street, are you being recognized for this event? Are you being treated like one of them?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
these when Mexican fighters fight, the Mexican people get behind
Oh yeah.
the Mexican fighters 100% all the way, and I definitely feel it. And I'm gonna be putting that Mexican name, uh, in the octagon. I
Right.
can't wait I can't wait to represent.
Well, it's great. Well, and it's funny because obviously Gastelum, I don't think Mexican right away.
Absolutely. Everybody's surprised when they see me or hear me speak Spanish. They're like,
Yeah,
whoa, they get surprised. My name sounds really American, but
right.
it was actually probably a Spanish name actually
Is
from
it
descent.
all right? Well, what was the unfortunately, we lost Kane, we lost Karyn in this fight. Did you talk to people about that? What did you sense? I mean, well, how did you feel when that got canceled? Because to me, it was so heartbreaking because I know how much not only everybody wanted this to happen, but I know Kane wanted this to happen. And what were you thinking when you heard that he wasn't going to be able to fight?
Well, obviously, I was devastated just like everybody else. I know Fabricio was devastated. He
Yeah,
wants to fight the champion.
of course.
Um, all the Mexican fans were devastated.
Yeah,
I heard people were disappointed. They wanted to return their ticket because they bought the ticket just to go see Kang.
right.
You know, they were really disappointed. But I think Mark Hunt's a great replacement. But and I was just devastated, and I felt really bad because I had to pull out of a fight myself
Right.
due to a knee injury, and I know how that feels. I know what it's like,
Hmm.
and it's fun.
And then we lost Diego Sanchez.
Uh, Diego Sanchez, Joe Lozon.
I know.
Uh,
But listen,
I,
no pressure, Kelvin. Now you just need to represent and, put on even more of a banger that we already knew you were gonna. So listen, it's great. I was
right.
out at Glendale Fighting Club the other day. I actually saw Jake training, and he's looking good. And I know he's taking you extremely seriously. One thing I really respect about you is the fact that you are calling out these difficult people and you are asking for challenges. The Rick Story fight I feel like was one that a lot of people were like, "Who does this Gastelum think he is?" You know what I mean? And then you go out there and you beat this guy who is so tough. What did that do for you, for your sense of confidence and for your sense of feeling like you really belong in that division?
Absolutely gave me that confidence
Yeah.
boost that I know I belong in that top 15,
Hmm.
belong with some of the best in the world, and I just want to continue to prove myself and to
Hmm.
prove to the world that I belong in the top 10 now. Going up against Jake.
Hmm.
So I'm looking to finish the fight, and I'm looking to prove myself to be in the top 10.
Very nice. Now, one thing that people do also still have a concern with, with you at 170 is the weight, and you didn't make it against Nico. What happened there?
Well, just from the beginning of fight week, I had my weight real low.
Hmm.
Um, Flights were delayed. They were canceled,
Yeah.
rescheduled, and just from that,
Hmm.
that really got me off my groove. Um, I didn't get to San Antonio till the next morning at
Hmm.
2 a.m. Didn't get to the hotel till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I didn't go. Just a lot of little things went wrong.
Hmm.
Um, and I think this time I'm going to be more organized and have my time scheduling more to a point. I also um, wasn't able to cut the rest of the weight off
Hmm.
because I had to check into the UFC
Right.
early.
Well,
So
you're
just
a stronger person than I am if you can go to Mexico and not eat like a like I mean, because like, dude, there are a few places I could go. Like, it's like I wouldn't want to fight in Italy, I wouldn't want to fight in Mexico, and I wouldn't want to fight in Brazil because I would throw down so much food it'd be ridiculous.
seriously, there's so much temptation, so many taco stands at every corner,
Right.
and tortilla stands. I mean, everywhere I go, there's just like, food, 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 things that I'm craving so bad.
But
But like, luckily, I've been able to stay pretty strong. My
right.
weight is really low now. I'm way ahead of schedule with my weight, so I'm gonna make this 170. This is probably gonna be the easiest cut I've had since I've dropped. So
Very
I'm
nice.
pretty excited, and I'm very excited for this fight.
Very nice. So I'm excited. Now you did mention that you're training with Fabricio Verdum, and I know that, excuse me, he's been doing his whole entire camp there. So how much time are you actually spending with him, and are you guys, really like doing all your workouts together and doing all your conditioning and everything together?
No, we're doing every now and then I get to work with him, but mostly, I have my routine down already that I'm continuing from back in San Diego, and
Mm-hmm.
he's got his routine down as well. But every now and then we get to do some cage work, some wrestling, some jujitsu,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I've been down here for the last 2 weeks, uh, finishing up camp
Yeah.
alongside of his.
Well, and how I would think clearly the Mark Hunt is a very different opponent than Cain Velasquez, and I think a lot of people assumed that all of a sudden when that opponent changed, Fabricio found a fight that was more winnable, perhaps. Does he? Have you
Absolutely.
seen not a change in his demeanor, but did you get a sense of that? They were. Well, actually, what was the sense that you got from them when with this new opponent?
I don't think he changed his demeanor at all.
No.
I think he knows this is still one of the biggest fights of his life.
Yeah.
He wants that belt, wants to go after Kane, and I think he's still training like he's fighting the champion.
Right.
He knows Mark Hunt is
So
very dangerous.
yeah.
He can change the whole fight with one punch.
Oh yeah.
So he's still training like he's fighting Kane, I think.
Yeah, it's well, because I spend so much time with DC at Fox, and so I know a lot about Kane, and DC just talks about how incredibly tough he is. But that's the whole thing. We were talking the other day about Mark Hunt and how he has perfected the walk-off KO, and you know what I mean, like how dangerous that man is. But the idea is that maybe if it gets to the ground, Fabricio's got his advantages there. I was just curious if all of a sudden he went, hey, wait a minute now, this is uh, not that Mark is less dangerous, but less well-rounded perhaps than Kane. Still dangerous, but maybe less well-rounded.
Right. No, like I said, I don't think his demeanor changed at all.
Yeah,
His training schedule has not changed at he
right.
still looks very hungry, he's still very motivated, and very excited for this fight.
Very nice. So now you mentioned that you're laughing about the Mexican fighting spirit and stuff. I used to work for Showtime Championship Boxing. I covered a lot of the Vasquez Marquez fights. The first three of those, which were insane and so amazing. I understand what you're talking about with Mexican fight fans because I've been amongst them, and I love that so much. So how much family do you have coming down? How many Gastelums and extended Gastelums are going to be down there in the audience for you?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I won't have any family come down this
No,
time.
why not?
Yeah. Well, mostly because everybody doesn't have money to come down,
Oh,
right?
that's hard.
Yeah. I mean, it's just financial reasons, really.
Yeah.
Um, but that's unfortunate. I do have some friends. I do have some family friends coming,
Mhm.
but no family.
Well, they'll be sending you love. You know that. You know you'll feel it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They all get together at a local pub,
Yeah.
and they put on the big screen, and my whole family gets there, and they go crazy.
Very nice. Now, one last thing I wanted to, two last things. Um, Getting back to Jake, I meant to ask this earlier. You guys have actually trained together down at Rain. So, I mean, people don't want to necessarily always fight their friends or this or that. How much time did you guys actually spend training together?
You know, when I was down at Rain, I actually never actually saw him much. I never
Oh,
trained
okay.
with him much.
Okay.
Yeah, so but I did. You know, being around the UFC, I see him, and
Mm-hmm.
we did some autograph signings together,
Mm-hmm.
and even sign. You know, Joe when Joe fought
Yeah.
in San Antonio, we were in a locker room together,
Right.
along with him and his brother and his coaches. So I got to know him before this fight as
Yeah.
well, and got along well with him
Yeah.
and respect him, and
But you're going to put a
he's
beat down on.
a nice guy. I like him.
Well, he said the same thing
But
about you. Likes you too
unfortunately,
and plans to put on the hurt. So it's a fair fight, And now, yeah. Now, lastly, you guys, obviously you were there for Dia de los Muertos. Was that interesting? What was that like being there?
yeah, it was interesting. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of people. Something that was really crazy. I was on my way to the gym.
Hmm.
It was that was muertos. I was on my way to the gym, and then next thing I know, there's these people surrounding this car, and this lady is crying. There's the man inside the car,
Uh-huh.
and it looks like it's her dad, and her dad passed away,
Oh, no.
and it was just you know to see how on the Day of the Dead
Yeah.
somebody some passed away.
Hmm.
They say there's some I don't know. There's something about that holiday, right? I don't know.
Right. Right.
It's
What?
intense.
Yeah,
So
I
that's what
don't
I
know
saw.
all the history of it, but I was just thinking about that before we spoke, and I was like, wow, he was right there, in the middle of it. And for a lot of us know a little bit about it, but to be right in the thick of it must have been really interesting. And wow, it sounds pretty heavy, actually.
Yeah, yeah. It was very, very odd.
Mm, mm. Well, I want to thank you for from dialing in from this Pueblo. Pretty good internet for a Pueblo right now. You're looking pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad because
Yeah.
it could come off any minute.
Right,
You
right.
know,
And
they've been
I
having.
don't know what, they may have you scheduled. Wait, I think I actually did lose you for a second there. What did you say?
Oh, they've been having internet problems all over this little town. So
Yeah.
it could come off in a minute.
No, all right. Well, I think it's worked for now, and I'm wondering if we're gonna have you on UFC tonight before the fight. I have a feeling we probably would. But if not, I'll make sure I report to everybody that you're in good spirits and in good health, and everything's healthy, right? You're feeling good. No injuries to report.
100% ready for this fight.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I mean, do you think if you win this, and I know you're not looking past Jake, but I think a lot of the chatter is that the people would like to see you face Tyron Woodley next. Is that something that you would enjoy?
I'm up for anybody. I don't want to look past Jake, but
Yeah,
put them all in line.
line them up.
For me.
Line them up. Line them up. Well, awesome, Kelvin. It's really been great catching up with you. And do you still see Chael at all? Do you ever talk to Chael, your coach from Tough?
Every now and then, yes, yes, but lately I haven't. I've been
Yeah.
really busy, and I'm definitely in Mexico and just kind of doing
Right.
my own thing. I know
Yeah.
he's been doing his own thing,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
every now and then. So,
Very nice. Well, I know he's always believed in you, and now when he did work with me on UFC, and I always had great things to say about you. So it's pretty great. Well, again, thank you so much for taking the time, and can't wait to see this fight. I think it's just going to be fantastic. So enjoy the rest of your time there, and I guess the next time we see you, we'll be on the scale.
awesome. I'll see you then. I'll see
All
you guys
right.
then.
Thanks, Kelvin.
Thank